Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good. My name is Mishka and in today's video we will be decorating an apartment in a minimalist style. And this is a part 2 to the previous video that I posted in which I built the shell and also the storefront. It was a candy shop, a bookstore, a salon and a bistro on the other side of this build. So if you want to see that video, I will link it up in the cards and in my description as well. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you do like the apartment. And yeah, let's get into it. So like I said, today we'll be decorating in a minimalist style. There's going to be no CC in this apartment. And so we will be trying to use the packs items, but also using other packs as well, because I feel like with this pack, the focus was more so on turning your hobbies into businesses as opposed to decorating a living space. And so for this we would need to use other packs because we didn't actually get a kitchen with this new pack. And so I used a kitchen from Decor to the Max, which I thought went well with the decor style. But initially, just a little bit of what I'm doing at the moment, I wanted to move the stairs because I really liked the door that I had previously placed there, but I felt like it was clipping a bit with or it was going to be in the way of the entry table that I placed. That entry table is from the new pack. I think everything over there is from the new pack except that statue, which is from the pack with Purism, which is, or the kit, which is called the Refined Living Room Kit. Yes, and then the light is from the Desert Deluxe Kit. I think that's what it's called. And then the rug was from Laundry Day, but I do end up changing that rug to one from Modern Luxe, I think. And so for the kitchen, I was actually following an inspo photo that I found on Pinterest. And just because, I like my inspo photos. If you've been here for a while, I always have an inspo photo. So in the inspo, it had like this little cutout of where the stoves were. And so I decided to make it obviously 2 stoves. And I used the Decor to the Max counters for this. And I think I also used the cabinets from Decor to the Max for this kitchen as well. Just because in the photos that I was looking at for minimalism kitchens specifically, the counters were very sleek. And so I didn't have anything else with the packs that I have that would fit that. I feel like a lot of them have like cupboard handles and stuff like that you can see on the outside of the cabinets. And so I decided to go with the Decor to the Max because it looks a lot sleeker. But if I did have a choice, I probably would have used Chef Hassel's counters and cabinets. But I don't have that pack or that stuff pack. I think it is a stuff pack, yes. And so the reason why is because I really do like those cabinets. I like that it has the light at the bottom, but I don't have that back yet. Hopefully one day, I'm working my way up to owning as much as I can, but then again, I probably never own all of the DLC for this game because it just keeps on going up. It really just keeps on going up. And so there you can see I placed the stoves. So the stoves are also from Decor to the Max. And then I placed a shelf as well because I wanted to put, cooking essentials on the shelf and just to give it a different, just to fill up the space a little bit more. I do end up placing a hood on top with cabinets as well from Decor to the Max. I was going to go with a wood from what is that, Life and Death, but for me it looked a little bit less modern than I wanted it, or less sleek than I wanted it. So I ended up going with a base game hood, I think, and just placing it in the counter as you see there, or not in the counter, in the cabinet, sorry, as you see there. And I ended up just going with one because I think, in a real life, one extractor fan or hood would be enough. I like how it was positioned in the middle. I never actually tried 2. I should have probably tried 2, but yeah. And then I was placing the upper cabinets, and one thing that was bothering me the entire time was that the window was in the way. And so I never for once considered moving the window just because I do like how the build looks on the outside. So I just placed the cabinet down there, even though it was, you know, in the way of the window. I don't think you would ordinarily have it like that in real life. But I didn't care. This is Sims, and like I said, I wasn't willing to compromise what was on the outside of the building. And so I did end up placing all of the clutter that I wanted to use in the kitchen out, but eventually I think I didn't use, or I deleted it, because with minimalism, the clutter should be kept to a minimum. And I was struggling with this damn cabinet. I really wanted it to clip onto the side of the window, but it doesn't. It only clips onto the corners of walls. So frustrating. But eventually I just decided then to just go with the normal cabinet and place it as close as possible as I could to the window without it clipping. And I did place down that light there, but then I decided to go with these lights from Gshade. I love these lights from Gshade. I like the glow that it gives. Unfortunately, when you place other lights in the room, it can kind of take away the effect of that lights, but I still kept it there because I thought it just looked nice. And then I got these bottles from Debug. Now I think they may be wine bottles, but they remind me of olive oil bottles, which in South Africa we have this green olive oil bottle that it specifically reminds me of. And so that's why I decided to keep um those bottles there. So yes, it may be wine, but just know in my head it's olive oil at the moment. And so um I think I do end up removing the red peppers and also the plates that I placed there, just because I felt like it was too much. That mortar and pestle is from For Rent, and then the cabinets that I'm using now is from Snowy Escape. And so I just placed it in this block arrangement. It's not really supposed to fit together that way, and you'll see why I say so, because you can see there's like a little hole on the top of the island, but I just covered up the holes with I think later a candle or a plant or something like that, because if you look closely at the island, it actually goes in where the chairs are supposed to be placed, or where your sim would, well, not your sim, but where a person would have stood if they were like preparing anything on the island, or exactly where the zincs are. There's like a little divot there, and I like that, so that's why I kept it that way. I do end up removing the sinks because I just didn't feel like two was necessary in the build, and also I wanted the island to be pretty simple in keeping with, you know, the minimalist decor. I didn't want to have to place two of those dish racks on either side of the sink. I could have placed it in the middle, but I don't think it would have went there because of how I placed the end pieces. So I wouldn't have been able to move the sinks to the end. And also it bothered me that the sinks were not in the middle in line with the stoves. That's actually the reason why I removed the sinks. And yeah, so I just decided to clutter it up a bit. On the other side over here, where the knives are currently, I moved the knives and then I placed a cutting board from Debug. I actually never realized that I moved the entire cabinet into the island. So later on, I ended up removing the cabinet when I finally noticed that I didn't just move the knives. And so yeah, for the island, like I said, I placed down the knives, and then later I use a Debug chopping board as well to place on the island. And then that candle from the new pack is my favorite item in this game at the moment, because I love a good candle, and I just like the rustic shades of the pottery in the new pack. So I think I'll be placing that candle as my signature for every build from now onwards, because I just love it so much. And then I placed on the shelf, I wanted to make it look as if, you know, this is the section where you make your coffee and your tea. So I placed some cups up there from Everyday Clutter. And then while I was going through Everyday Clutter, the kit, I found these sunglasses, and then, or just glasses, and then the phone and the keys. So I wanted to make it look as if, you know, someone had chucked it in there. And so I placed the phone in there, and then I slanted the glasses to kind of make it look like it was laying on top of the phone. And yeah, I think that was mainly it for the kitchen. So the stools are from also this the pack that we got, and that hanging plant or the wall plant is from the pack as well as these lights. I was trying to prioritize using the pack over other items, but like I said, not a lot of items for living or building a living, what was I gonna say? For decorating a living space. Yes. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of those items in this pack. And so I decided, there you can kind of see I placed the cutting board from debug, and I wanted to rotate it a little bit to cover up the hole that I mentioned the last time. And initially I started with this table, but I then changed it, like you can see, to, I think that's from decor to the max. And it just created a very simple dining room. I think I could have made the dining room a little bit longer, just to fit the space a little bit more, but you'll see that the space fills up quite quickly because of how I made the living room. So I'm actually glad that I did not make it a longer dining room. And one thing that did bother me was the red of the windows, but like I said, I was not willing to compromise anything on the outside of the build to make the apartment look right. But luckily, with the Oasis, it's not an Oasis courtyard, it's the no, I just said it, the Desert Luxe. Yeah, the desert, did I say Desert Deluxe the last time? I feel like I heard myself say that. But the Desert Luxe kit, those curtains, I use them to cover up the redness of the windows. Hopefully, first I tried this dumb thing with the separators that we got with this pack, but yeah, no, I quickly then reminded myself of the curtains in the game, because sometimes I forget about them since I do not like them very much. And for the rug, I wanted something simple, but I think I do end up changing it later on. I'm not sure if that maybe got clipped in the mix, but I changed it to a base game rug that has the blocks on. And now I kind of hate that I did, because I like the rug that I have on the screen at the moment. But that's what happens when you're filming clips afterwards. Sometimes you think, oh, something else is going to look better, but no, what you initially had actually looks quite fine. So for the TV, this was one of the things that I was battling with when deciding the layout, is what wall was I going to place the TV on. Since I had all the windows in place already, I had to work with the windows. So I decided to create a TV stand with the separators that we got. Are they called separators? I think they're called separators, but I didn't like that there was these, holes essentially behind the TV. So I decided to place the these are all signs from Get to Work, and then I decided to just size it down with the tool mod, because I thought it was a little bit too big, and drag the TV forward a bit so that it fit perfectly on it. And I like the light that comes from this TV. This is from the Party Essentials kit. I think we did get one with the rewards that came out after the kit. I think it was the Life and Death rewards game pass thingy that we got during that time, but I never played that rewards thing, so I never got that TV. Yeah, so I mean, if you don't have Party Essentials, you can always just but then again, if you don't have Party Essentials, the candy store downstairs will be incomplete, because I used a lot of Party Essentials in there. It surprises me sometimes how you can use those kits for something different, because I've only ever decorated one party lot, and that was when the kit came out. I've never ever decorated a party lot again, and I probably wouldn't with that kit, because to be honest, the items was just not that great. But I found use for them. If you haven't seen that video, like I said, I will link the video so that you can have a look at it if you're interested in seeing how I decorated the other spaces for this lot. I decorated a lot of the shelves with this new pack, the pottery stuff that came from the pack, as well as with the new kit, the latest kit that we got from Tourism, which was a creator kit. I love the items that came with that, the clutter items like the abacus, the statuette, the books. So I used a lot of that throughout here. And so for the couches, I wanted to try to use this one, but it's so thin. Like it looks like it would be so uncomfortable. And maybe that's just because of the Scandinavian design that it's like that, but I didn't end up keeping that couch. The chairs is from the new pack, but I ended up going with, I think, a chair from, or a couch from Book Nook, because it was comfier, it looked comfier. And then the table in the middle is from Decor to the Max, and I think this hanging light is from Decor to the Max as well. And then for the corner, those are from the plant in the corner is from the new pack. And then the head statue is from Modern Lux. Yeah. And the fireplace, this fireplace, I like that it's so small that you can actually fit it in smaller spaces as opposed to the fireplaces we usually have in the game. That one is from the new pack as well. And then for the shelves, I tried to create a different pattern with the snowy escape shelves, but I ended up just joining it together, and then once again decorating with the pottery that we got from this pack. I already said I love the pottery. I think it's the best part of the pack. And then I did place those pots up there, but I removed them and opted to have the single pot just to keep it clean, because minimalism, not a lot of clutter. So I was trying to remind myself about that throughout the build, but I did also see a lot of inspo photos with these kind of shelves that are cluttered up with pottery that don't have any like insane colors. They're very white and brown colors always, and so yeah, I think this build can kind of be Japandi as well, because Japandi has a lot of overlaps, I think, with Scandinavian design and minimalism. I think it's kind of like a marrying between those, or all of them. I mean, I'm sure there are definitely things about Japandi that are unique to it that Scandinavian design won't necessarily have. And now I am working on the office. So I thought if your Sims are running a storefront, they would probably need somewhere to work on things to do with the storefronts downstairs. And so I created this office. But the reason why I kind of fast forwarded to the section where I have it all for decorated is because it didn't stay like this. I changed everything except the computer. Yeah. So my initial idea was, that this could be the planning for the storefronts downstairs, but I decided to rather just go the minimalist route and make it very simple, not have anything too cluttered on the walls. And I just decided to go with a simple painting from Snowy Escape. Once again, the lights are from Spa Day, and then the paneling is from Snowy Escape. I actually used this trick in the passageway as well. And I placed later, I don't think I show it because I only remembered afterwards that I could use a column to cover up the ends of the or to make it look a little bit more seamless of that paneling. So I placed just over the lights, I placed the thin column from what is it, Get Together, I think it's from, yeah, it's from there. And then that mirror is from Vintage Glamour, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, I decided that I no longer wanted this table. It just wasn't simple enough, I guess. And so I decided to go with that one. I'm not sure which pack that one is from. The rug is from Snowy Escape. And then I had this small room because I decided to make the other room bigger. And so I decided to go with a bathroom for this because there is a guest room without a bathroom. So that room behind the entryway is a guest room, and that doesn't have a bathroom in. So we needed a neutral, not a neutral bathroom, a bathroom everyone can use, basically. A guest bathroom, but also had a shower and whatever. So in case you did have actual guests staying over, you could have them use this bathroom. And that other room is kind of big at the moment, but I actually divided into two so that it turns out to be a laundry room and a toddler's room. Usually I don't build kids rooms. I'm not gonna lie, I don't build kids rooms in my builds because I don't play with children in The Sims. Or I haven't had the time to really play with infants a lot. So I just never really build kids rooms. So this was really my first time building a kids room in one of my builds in a really long time. I think I'll explain a little bit more about the kids room when I get to it. But for the bathroom, I just kept it simple. Again, I'm not sure which pack that shower is from, but the sink is from this pack, the new pack, and then the toilet is from Seasons. Yeah, so I'm working on the laundry room. I don't usually like to include laundry rooms um in the bowls because the thing is it makes the gameplay really realistic, because you have to have your sim washing their laundry all the time, otherwise it piles up. I've done it with one of my sims. I put a laundry room in one of our or in her apartment, and I had to wash laundry so much I got annoyed by it. Like, I already have to wash laundry in my real life, and now I have to have my Sims do it. And also, it was setting off fires left, right, and center because I continued to forget to clear out the lint tray. So, yeah, but I decided, this looks like a really bougie family that lives here. So, let me include a laundry room. And then, yeah, I am walking in the kids' room. I thought this could be a younger family that are doing really well for themselves, and they just had a baby. And yeah, so I decorated the kids room, but I did it in a green color, and you can also change it, if you don't like it, or turn it into um a um a other kind of room. I don't know. But I just wanted to decorate. I felt like decorating a kid's room. I don't know what came over me, and so I decided to do that for this room. And mainly use the base game, I think, for this room. I don't think we have a lot of items for kids outside of the base game. Like I said, I wouldn't really know because I do not play with kids that much. So for the room, I decided to include a play area, and then a section where the kid can craft, and then a section for where, either the parent comes in and reads to the kid, and then um, obviously where they sleep. I think also one of the reasons why I don't play with children is because I don't have growing together and parenthood. And I feel like that's kind of essential for you to have some depth to parenting in The Sims 4. Without it, it's kind of like it gets boring really quickly, and the kids just become too much work in the game. So that's why I don't really play with them. I like to play with young adults that are, hustling, or they're going out, they have a reckless lifestyle or something like that. Maybe it's because I'm not like that in my real life. So that's why I like to play with Sims that way. But yeah, but I don't do anything crazy. These people be getting up to crazy things with these Sims, especially if you play the game modded. The things that I have heard people doing to these Sims is just a little wild, I'm not gonna lie. But nevertheless it gives me a laugh. So, but anyways, back to the bold. Yes, back to the bold. I decided to place down this light. I'm not sure where the light is from, but I saw this whole art, and I used the light from the Comfy Gamer kit to almost make it look as if that's the child Sim's name that is on top of their bed. Yeah, but that was like the final thing that I did for that room. And now we're moving on to the main bedroom. This main bedroom does have a balcony. I decorated that for the last video, but I didn't really include it. That video was really long. This video is a lot longer than I wanted to do, but I don't know if I mentioned this before, but when I was decorating this thing last night, I was so tired, but I wanted to get the video out so that I could put up the apartment version of this build. And so for the bedroom, I once again just tried to keep it really simple. I had this white and brownish colors, which, I feel like if I didn't do the kids room, that's exactly what it would have been for the kids room. So that's why I wanted to do something a little bit different for it and decided to include the kids room. This bed is from For Rent, I think, yes, and then the lights are from the Book Nook and the side tables are from Decor to the Max. That light may be from Life and Death. And then my favorite plant is Jungle Adventure, which is the ones that I place down now. I really do like using those plants in my build. The one ottoman is from Life and Death, and the other one is from the Cozy Gamer Kit. And so I decided to create this section with a dresser. Yes, I place down a dresser, and then I use that dresser is from the new kit with Pierism as well. And then I think the mirrors are from Gshade. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And the plant over there is from Horse Ranch. That candle is from the Everyday Clutter Kit, or it may be the bathroom one. Yeah, I didn't check which one that is from. And I decided to include a small closet in here. It was very, very small. I actually think maybe I should have just disregarded the closet. But I felt like the people who loved you probably would have had a closet. So um, it's going to be very difficult for you to see what I'm doing in the closet. And so that's why I only included like a really short portion of me decorating it. I didn't decorate too much in the just to make it look as if, someone placed their clothing or places their clothing in the section of the build or in the section of their room. And yeah, so I just placed down, I think everything that I placed down in the closet is from Decor to the Max. I just recently got that back and I'm really enjoying the items that came with it. That's why I think I'm in such a closet creating craze, because in my cafe as well, the apartment for that, I made a closet as well. So I decided to include one here. Yeah, but there's not much to the closet, I would say. I think for the most part, oh yes, I placed down Judith Ward's bag in there because it's in debug, and the only other bag clutter that we have, or that I have, is from Modern Lux. So I just placed down a bag in there. The other day when I found it, I was like, I need to find some use for this because I don't know if you've been hit by Judith Wood before with a bag, but I have, or my sim has, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, because I've never played previous Sims games, so I don't know about her tendency to do that. And so when she came out of nowhere, because I think I was doing something romantic with one of the other Sims in the game, and when she just came out of nowhere and started beating on my Sim with that damn handbag, I was so surprised by this, because up until that point I had not witnessed violence in this game and I felt very victimized by her that day. But we've moved on to the bathroom now, and I wanted to place double sinks because I do think a couple would be staying here. And for the top shelves of the, I just decorated with Everyday Clutter. I placed my favorite candle down again. And then the head statue, or the head bust from Pierism. This bath, I think this is now my new favorite bath. It may be competing with the one from Life and Death, because that one is also really nice. Yeah, so that one is from this pack as well, and then the sinks again from this pack. I was gonna place down that mirror from Get Famous, but I had used it downstairs in the salon, so I rather placed these ones from Spa Day. And then I cluttered it up with bathroom clutter. I did end up removing a lot of the clutter that I placed down there, because I just felt like it wasn't really fitting with a minimalist theme, and so I decided to remove it. Yeah. Which you'll see in the images that I did actually end up removing it. That painting is from the kit with Pierism as well. I just sized down that shelf a little bit because I felt like it was clipping with the windows. And yeah, now we're on to the last room of the build. For this last room, I didn't know what to do, but I just included a single bed. Initially, I did do very white colors, but I did end up going in and changing it, because when I was shooting the end clips, I was looking at it and I was like, this is dull. This is boring. And minimalism doesn't necessarily mean boring. So I decided to go back in and change it to the darker colors. But you know, that was all that I think I had done for this build. Yeah, I think that's it that I want to mention. Again, if you did like this video, please don't forget to like and then also give it a thumbs up. But I think I'm gonna end the voiceover here, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Oh yes, this is on the gallery to download. There's two versions, the one without the apartment and then the one with the apartment. Like I said, if you want to see this video or any of my other businesses and hobbies builds, I will link that. But yes, enough of me rambling. I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.